Hi, I'm Pesca, and I'm a psychologist. I know about anxiety disorders not only from my educational background, but also from the autopsy. Based on my own experience, I'd like to help you navigate anxiety and to find the eye of the cyclone. In the previous episode, I shared the 4 steps to healing described by Dr. Claire Weeks. In this episode, I will share more personal information, which are 10 things which helped me when my anxiety symptoms were at its peak. By saying at its peak, I mean the phase where my symptoms were really intense. I suffered from agoraphobia, social anxiety, constant panic attacks, and derealization. These 10 things supported me to go through this most difficult time in my life. There is no mental health content without a proper disclaimer. In this episode, I will be sharing my own experience and strategies, actions which helped me at the time when the symptoms were the most intense. So, when I was a teenager, still living with my parents, going to school, and then to the university. These strategies were helping in the most critical moments, which means that they don't necessarily bring positive results on the long run. They don't guarantee the healing, but they give enough support for the sufferer to go through the day. Remember that different things help different people, as we have different personalities, different family situation, but also anxiety comes to our life at the different stages. When one have their first panic attack when they are a child or a teenager, the other may be already a well-developed adult with an own family. And of course, this can also impact the coping strategies, as the maturity and understanding level may be also different. Nevertheless, regardless of what stage in life you are at right now, if you suffer from intense anxiety, I hope that you will find some tips on what can help you to reduce the level of anxiety and decrease the frequency and duration of the panic attacks. There is also a second disclaimer, which is what you will not hear in this podcast. I will not tell you to eat healthy. Of course, it is important to give your body a proper nutrition, but when the anxiety disorder is at its peak, the only thing the person thinks of is to survive through the day. Food becomes secondary. Oftentimes, when in crisis, the stomach can be really tensed and eating may seem impossible. It is common that during the crisis we may lose a lot of weight. I will also not tell you to stay fit and do the workout. It indeed helps, but when anxiety is low to moderate. But when symptoms are the worst, you may not have any energy to do the workout. You may not eat enough and also be tired, as keeping 8 hours of sleep may be impossible for the sensitized mind. So, as you could already figure it out, I will also not tell you to sleep well. I wish you that. But it may be really challenging when your body and mind is in the constant survival mode. First thing, or first person that comes to my mind was my mom. I was lucky to have a mother who was patient and supportive despite not having an understanding to my symptoms. At the time, in my city, in my family, people were not talking out loud about mental struggles. It only started changes in the past couple of years. Now there is more understanding and more voices speaking about anxiety disorders in the public. In my family, no one suffered from anxiety, or no one was talking about it. But what was important is that my mom was telling me, I don't know how it feels, but I will support you and I accept you and love you regardless of what is happening. We will overcome it together. In the worst moments, when I stopped going to school due to my agoraphobia, my mom took a leave from work and stayed with me at home. Another thing that I remember is that when I was a student and lived in a different city, sometimes my mom would spend hours on the phone with me when I was going through a panic attack when going to the groceries. Knowing that I can call her anytime and that she's available and won't reject me, that meant a lot, and I am utterly grateful for it. I know that each person has different family situation. Maybe sometimes it will be mom, sometimes dad, sometimes siblings, or other times maybe your family would not be able to support. If you have a family that is supportive during your difficult times when anxiety is high, I am really happy for you. But if not, do not worry. You've got this. There are a lot of other strategies. And at the end of the day, don't forget that the true panacea is within, and only you can heal yourself. What I am sharing today are the nice to haves. Second thing which helped me to go through the worst moments were my friends and my boyfriend. My best friend in the worst moments was coming every day to pick me up, and we took the bus to school together. I remember having non-stop the thoughts that she will be fed up with me at one point, because who wants to be friends with such person, and that it is impossible to like me. But look, 15 years have passed and she's still my best friend. The same with my boyfriend at that time. When I suffered from the worst agoraphobia, he was taking me to my singing classes and afterwards picking me up. Having small but meaningful group of friends who haven't rejected me in the worst moments, that was a true blessing. Third thing which helped me during the worst times was the psychologist. I asked my mom to register me for psychotherapy. I felt that I will not be able to handle it without the support from the outside. And without the support of someone who knows what I'm suffering from. I was going to the children's psychologist as I was still underage. What helped me the most was, on one hand, this feeling that once a week I will get support. It really helped me to get through the week. And secondly, this unconditional understanding and empathy which my psychologist gave me, that was priceless. And I guess this was the most important at that time. I wasn't expecting that psychotherapy will magically heal me. I just wanted to be able to share what I'm struggling with and to be able to hear that this is normal for this disorder, that I'm not seriously sick, etc. The fourth step, or the fourth tip, is reading about the disorder. This was literally the only thing that I was able to read and focus on. During strong symptoms, focusing on anything else intellectually seems impossible. It may also seem a bit egocentric, but hey, if our body and mind is in a state of life or death, why would our mind focus on anything else than a survival? That's why it makes perfect sense that it is like that. And reading self-help books or forums for people with anxiety disorders can help to understand its mechanisms and have a feeling of not being alone with it. Regarding forums, here I would like to recommend to join only approved forums with strict rules for joining and posting. It is important that the content there doesn't increase the fear additionally. Tip 5. Using social media. As mentioned in the previous point, our minds, when dealing with heavy symptoms, are not able to focus on any intellectually demanding content. Reading newspapers, watching news can be too overwhelming for a frightened mind and can trigger even more anxiety. What helped me when my thoughts were racing was to distract myself with the intellectually non-demanding content. Searching for memes, watching funny movies with animals. Yes, that was it. This really helped to take the mind off, at least for a bit. This strategy has, of course, its cons and can lead to being addicted and short-focused. But in the worst moments, this may be the best thing you can do for yourself to have a bit of relief from your own mind. Next tip, try to have something to look forward to. Something small, not big like going on vacation. No, this may be too much for the time being and can trigger anxiety. What I mean is, try to have plans that, for example, you will see your psychologist on Friday and on Sunday you will do face masks with your mom or your best friend. The key here is to have something to look forward to, something that is safe. Tip 7. Drink Melissa. I cannot say how many liters of Melissa I drank, but that really helped to calm down my nerves, to feel that my muscles are less tensed. It also helped to sleep. I was drinking really a lot of Melissa, and I highly recommend it. What also helped me was medication. But this is a very individual part, and it must be consulted with a doctor. In my case, I really felt that I will not be able to manage alone. I was looking for any help at one point. My derealization and obsessive thoughts were so intense that my psychologist said that therapeutic actions won't bring the expected results, as my brain needed to get the biochemistry back to the balance. I am not a doctor and I don't want to make any recommendations here. I just want to share that in the worst moments, the medicine also played a big part. You know what I learned? Sometimes we cling so much to not having help of medications because we can fight it by ourselves. And if someone is capable to do it, I am really happy for it. But if you feel that medication may be necessary and that even your psychologist or psychiatrist also say so, maybe then it's okay to get yourself help for at least a short period of time so that you can let your body get back to the balance and gain strength to continue the recovery. Tip 9. Spend time with animals. In my case, having a dog was really great. It meant that I had a routine because I needed to take it for a walk, to feed him. But most of all, when my anxiety was super high, I didn't want to be alone. And our family dog was always home, always happy to see me. I guess there is something true when people say that animals help to calm down your nerves. I fully agree with it. And the last thing which helped me with my anxiety, but when my symptoms were slightly lower but still high, was paradoxically work. It was similar mechanisms to the social media, as I was able to change my focus. I worked as a waitress in a busy cafe, and there was no time to think during the busiest times of the day. After the whole day of standing, I was so tired that I was falling asleep more easily. Similarly, when I started professional career and working in the office, it was also very helpful. I was feeling better during work than after it. But again, these were the times when the symptoms were strong, but low enough to allow me to leave home. At that time, I already learned how to act despite fear. Maybe you have any tips that you would like to share with me or with us. Please share in the comments section. And most of all, thank you for listening. If you feel that this video can help your friend or a person who you know who suffers from anxiety, feel free to share it. And as always, I wish you good luck, you strong, courageous person. Bye!